Alright guys, welcome back to this tutorial series. Today we're going to basically be fixing up the walls a little bit so that we get some nicer measurements going on, and also basically maybe start putting in some kitchen objects and maybe lighting fixtures into our floor plan. But basically I'm going to scrap most of the like the dimensions that are listed here and kind of just adjust them. But again, what you would do in a project, because remember in the previous episode, we had this issue here where the dimensions were adding up to more than this overall dimension here. So we're getting an inch bigger with these two combined than we have here. So normally we don't want to end up with that issue, so we make sure that we just round everything off to the nearest inch when we're measuring and when we're drafting, just as a rule of thumb. And so we're going to go ahead and get right into it, and if we have time we'll put in some lighting fixtures and maybe the kitchen layout and whatnot. So let me go ahead and select this wall here. So I can see here that it's 33 feet and 9 3/8 inches. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to make this 33 feet even. So I just entered 33 feet and it automatically just rounded off to where it that would be. And now I'm going to take this wall and then I'm going to select the drag icon from the command palette and then just drag it until the corners meet, and that should make that 33 feet even. Now if we look at these dimensions, they've basically adjusted and they do in fact add up to 33 feet. It was kind of nice that when we place these dimensions, we place them to the nodes here, and so it automatically adjusted them as we move things around. So that's kind of a neat thing that Archicad does. Anyway, let's go ahead and fix the rest of this. I'm going to go ahead and select this wall here by holding shift and then left clicking, and then I'm going to come up here to the toolbar and intersect. Now we can see that I believe this is either the floor, oh no, this is the ceiling joist structure that we created. This one is kind of, since we were using the previous measurement for exterior walls, that kind of stayed in place. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this edge here and then selecting this offset edge command from the command palette. I'm just going to move it toward the inside of that finished material, and then I assume this is the floor. Yeah, looks like that's the floor. I'm going to select that one and do the same thing as well. So move that over here, and there we go. So that one's fixed. Now let's go ahead and adjust a couple more things. So for now let's focus on the exterior wall. So I've selected this exterior wall here, and I want to not use the drag command, but I want to use the stretch command here, and I want to make sure that I can adjust this. Let's say this is 27 feet 10 inches, so it's rounding there. So we're going to move it down to, I don't know, what do we want it to be? Let's just make it 30. So I guess we'll have to fix it. Actually, you know what, let's just make it 27 feet 9 inches. Sorry guys, that's my cat, Mr. Pickles. I think I don't know what he wants. What do you want, Mr. Pickles? What do you want, buddy? Alright, now he's quiet. So I'm going to select this other wall, and then I'm just going to drag it, and then I want to drag it back to this corner here so that it intersects properly. And then I'm going to hold shift and left click, and then I'm going to intersect those two walls. And there we have it. So it's this finished material is kind of sticking out a little bit, so I'm just going to select that edge and then offset it about an inch, and that should do it. And I think that is it for the exterior walls. Now for the interior walls, when you're placing these, usually when you're measuring, right, you measure from the interior of the of this exterior wall to the interior of the next wall that you have. But in this case, I'm going to kind of scrap this this wall here, and I am going to actually place it somewhere else. And same thing with this other one. I kind of just placed those in there before to demonstrate the interior dimensions. So we'll have to adjust this later. So I'll also delete that interior dimension, and let's go ahead and select our wall. So it's not showing up there. Let me see. I believe I created a new wall, right? Yeah. So generic interior. So when we place these, usually what I'll do is, and you can do it one of two ways. You can place it using the outside one of the faces, so the outside face or the inside face. In our case, since we have we created this composite, and both sides are the same because it's an interior wall. I'm sorry, the finishes on both sides are the same. It doesn't really matter which one you use, whether you use the outside or the inside, but you basically just want to make sure that you're using the dimensions that you measured. So let's say when you walked in the front door, but usually it's like the living area and maybe and then the kitchen usually. But let's say that you measured from this wall here, from this right wall. When you come in, you've got this wall on the right, and then you measured that about, I don't know, let's say 13 feet out from that wall. You had another wall going this way, perpendicular to this exterior wall, to this front wall. So the way we're going to place that is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put my mouse over the corner here, and when that little X icon appears, or you got that sort of loading circular motion going on, it does this nice thing where it'll basically tell you the distance from that wall, and usually this is helpful if we want to enter a distance. So let's say I said it was 13 feet, so I'm just going to type 13 feet, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to come up here, and I can see that my wall has been placed there. Now I have it with the outside face, but again, you'll want to make sure that you're using that your wall is placing how you want it to be placed. So in this case, we measure it from the finished material to finished material, not to the outside of this, or to the other side of this interior wall, right, when we measured. So I'm going to go ahead and hit P to reflect that wall over. And then I'm just going to go ahead and draw this line all the way, I'll just do it all the way through. It's not a really big deal, I guess, for now. And then I'll keep dragging it, keep dragging it out here till I get to the center. That's strange, okay. Till I get to the center of that wall composite. Okay, so now I've got that in place, and I can dimension it now or I can dimension it later. However, to use that convention that we discussed earlier, I'm going to just go ahead and demonstrate something really quickly again. I'm going to hit Command Option D to duplicate this dimension and just drag where I want that to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and split this into two dimensions, right? One for this side, the living area and the kitchen, and one for this side, which is where we'll probably have the bedrooms. And then I'm just going to hit this plus dimension icon. And now if I go to this wall here, you can kind of see that it looks like it's trying to measure the thickness of that wall. And it's a little bit, yeah, it's kind of strange that it's not actually going to it's not measuring the full thickness of the wall. But sometimes you'll want to measure I guess depending on the convention you're using, right? Sometimes you'll measure the thickness of the wall, but usually the convention that I learned anyway was the one that I use is measured to the center of the wall. And so in order to do that, we discussed last time, we need to make sure that the reference line is set to the center. So here I've adjusted the reference line to the center, but it's moved 3 inches down, and so I'm going to basically account for that by selecting that wall and then dragging it 3 inches back up to where it needed to be placed according to our measurement. Let's say this is an existing building, all right? And now I've just taken that point or I've added a dimension here, but having this reference line being the center allows me to select it as a sort of hot link, so to speak. for this dimension to snap to. So we've got 13 feet 9 and 14 feet, and that should indeed add up to 27.9. Okay, so now we need a couple more things, but for the sake of what do you call it? For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to place in some objects for the kitchen. So it's kind of neat that Archicad comes with this. So let's go ahead and select this chair icon here. And we're going to look for, that's my last search apparently. So kitchen. So Archicad has a built-in kitchen layout, which is kind of neat. And you can choose from different sizes, custom, straight. You can have an island, a galley, a bunch of different styles, right? So that you can customize it as much as you like. And for our case, I'll just select the L shape for now, and then we're gonna go ahead and insert that into our floor plan. So the way we're gonna do that is we're just gonna hit OK, and we see that it's placing it in this layer, by the way. I'll leave it as is for now. If I see any problems later, we'll have to change it, but I've hit OK, and now I'm just gonna click on this corner here, and we see that it ended up not exactly where we would probably want it to go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this around. So I'm going to click on this pink hot link, and I'm just going to drag it. So I'm going to drag it, and I'm actually going to rotate it as well. So to rotate, you use this rotate icon. I'm not sure if we covered this already, but click the rotate icon, you get this protractor, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that again. So this is going to be our rotation axis, and I'm just going to drag my mouse out. I don't really have to drag it out that much. And then I'm going to click one more time, and then I'm just going to rotate it by moving my mouse in the direction that I want to rotate. So I want it to be right around there, and it rotated everything, so that's great. Shout out to my geometry students, or former geometry students. For those of you that don't know, which is probably all of you, I used to be a geometry teacher a few years back. But anyway, a lot of my kids probably thought they were never going to use geometry, and you never know when you'll find a use for it. So it's always good to pay attention, folks. I'm just going to go ahead and drag this out. This little dash line represents the like wall cabinets, so the ones that are kind of like floating, I guess. And this is the stove top with the kitchen hood. I'm not really sure what this one is. I believe this one is the fridge, so let me actually move this over here, and we're just gonna go ahead and move. I'm just gonna I'm kind of moving things at random here, but you can, let me go ahead, I'm gonna hit Command T to open up the settings for this kitchen layout, and I'm actually gonna remove a couple things. So you can see kind of it has a lot of options here. If you have you click on these arrows here. So we want a kitchen top, I'm sorry, a cooktop, we want a hood. There might be some things that we don't want, like maybe washer or oven. Maybe we'll want the oven. But you can kind of play with this. You can change the text on the refrigerator here by changing this to text, and then by default it looks like there's an F there, and then I'll change the pen color to black. And so I'm just going to keep dragging these. I'm not really sure what this is. I think this was the oven actually, so let me drag that under there. And then let's go into our 3D view. So we're going to go to elements in 3D. So at the top, you didn't see it, but you hit view on the very top, I guess, menu that you have. And then you go to show all in 3D. And let's see if I can find my model. So let's see if my kitchen is showing up. So we'll worry about changing the color of these walls later. But we can see the outside is stucco, and then the inside, I don't remember what it is, but we can work on that later. So there we've got the oven, the cooktop, the kitchen hood. And we've got some things going on here with the windows, so we'll work on changing these in a little bit. But also, yeah, these are not where they need to be placed. So I place them on natural grade. I actually want to move those to first floor. So I'm just going to come up here and change the home story to first floor. That'll automatically move them to the first floor level. So this is a tall cabinet that we had. It looks like this one, I'll just let's go to, I'm going to right click and then select on floor plan, and then oops, and then this one doesn't need to come out all the way there. Let's see if that helped. So it looks like it was bringing out the countertop to the outside of that tall cabinet. So I just kind of moved it in. So there's our kitchen, sort of, anyway. And then, well, we'll figure out what to do with this. Maybe let me just fix that now, actually. So this is my oven. You know what, I'm just going to remove it because this is kind of a small floor plan anyway. So let me move that oven. I'll just remove it. Oh, is that not the oven? What was that? I thought that was the oven. Let's see. So I'm actually not seeing that anywhere. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I don't know what that is actually. I should know, but it doesn't look like it's anything. It's showing up on my floor plan, and it looks like it shows up here as well. Oh, it says dishwasher. Okay. So let's Command T again, and then let's see if I can. Oh, there it is, dishwasher. I'm just removing it because it's kind of crammed in here. But let's go ahead and move this, and let's move that. And now I'm going to go back to the floor plan and make sure you pull it up from your view map if you don't have it. Oh, that's not. So that's not good. It's not showing up in our floor plan. So let's remind ourselves what layer it was on. I believe it was on 3D fixture. So let's go ahead and look for 3D fixture. So there's a bunch of things that are happening here in the software. Just to break it down, this section here is all of your layer combinations, which basically means it's a set of layers that are turned on, and these are basically pre-made for us. So this is a combination of layers. Okay, now in this icon here, which is just like a stack of layers, if you click on it, you can see all of the layers that are turned on and off for each of these layer combinations. Now the layer that we're looking for was 3D fixture. So let me search 3D fixture. Okay, maybe let me check the 3D model since we have the kitchen there. So this is A fixtures 3D. Okay, so architectural fixtures 3D. So let's go back over here and then fixtures 3D. So this layer is turned on. However, is that, yeah, so it's on, so it should show up. Oh, I see why it's not showing up. Okay, so the reason this is not showing up is because I believe the home story is set to natural grade. So yeah, so by clicking the settings for this view, we're seeing that the source is natural grade. So that's kind of where I screwed up, I guess, in this tutorial. Yes, because it looks like these were already sort of preset for us, and it looked like the first story was just automatically the first floor level, but we made it the natural grade. So I guess I can probably change that back to first floor. However, I guess I would have to move everything. So let's just do this. What I'll do is I'll fix the stories. So I'll go to the stories here, and then we're gonna kind of undo some stuff that we did previously, but we're gonna go ahead and just go to story settings, and then I'll make this the Okay, so let's make this the first floor. Ceiling and attic, and then roof apex, and then I'll delete this one, and then let's do from the first floor to the ceiling. We're just gonna make it 8 feet, which is usually standard. It's how do you say this? It's common for it to be 8 feet, at least in the US. And then the ceiling, so from the ceiling to the attic, let's just say it's 7 inches for now. And then from the attic to the roof apex, I'm actually not sure what that's going to be, but we'll adjust it later. Let's say this is 4 feet 6 inches. Or why don't we make it 5? Let's make it 5. And then this is our last story, so there's not a next story, so just put that 0. And let's go ahead and go back. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what I screwed up here this time. So the walls are still there, the kitchen is still there. So let me just go ahead and make that story the first floor. So let's see what else. Obviously this moves, so this is the ceiling. And then I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna hit ceiling here, and then I'm going to change the reference plane offset to 0. So that means it's going to, that blue line, which is a reference line, that's going to be inserted. It's going to insert our ceiling right at, from the first floor level all the way up to here. It's going to be 8 feet. However, this is actually not, the reference line is not actually the ceiling in our case. It's the top of the ceiling joists. And so I'm going to change the reference plane location to the bottom. And that's going to basically just flip that ceiling and make it so that the height of our ceiling from the first floor is actually that 8 feet. Now let me go ahead and go back. So let's go back to our first floor plan here. And we can see that it is, all of our walls are in, our kitchen is in, and we're pretty much good to go. I'm going to select this window marker, and I'm just going to hit P to reflect it onto the other side. And then I'm going to make this a, usually for the sinks, I don't know, 3 by 3. So I'll just change that, and then I'll center it right around where the sink is. And we've got a sort of basic kitchen layout here. In the next video, we'll add in a couple more things and just improve the floor plan. Sorry guys, it's Mr. Pickles. He's having fun playing by himself. Alright, see you guys in the next one.